Well, my name is Meredith Poole, and I interned at Panola Mountain State Park, which is a Metro Atlanta park in southeast Atlanta. Panola Mountain State Park was created in 1974. It was occupied by Creek Indians a long time ago, and then it became owned by a lot of cotton farmers throughout the years. And Panola actually is Creek for cotton, so that's pretty interesting. And then the Yarborough family owned it before the Georgia Conservancy and State bought it from them in 1968. And the state didn't actually come in on it until 1971, but the park was officially Panola Mountain State Park in 1974. My main goals and objectives were to improve leadership skills through leading hikes and camps and all that fun stuff. And then I was learning advertising techniques through making flyers to put out in the community or around the park, to practice outreach, and to learn how the state park system does documenting of programs and other fun stuff like that. My daily tasks and assignments on a non-camp day would be to water the plants that we got from a monarch grant to basically be a monarch restoration thing for when they go from north to south or south to north. We planted them in our power of flight or our natural kind of area. And before they went out there, I was in charge of watering them while they were behind the nature center. And then I would check the calendar for the events that were going on that day because they varied a lot from day to day. And then I would gather the supplies for the morning program and set everything up, and then we would do our morning program. Then usually we'd have lunch, and the afternoon I'd either be inventorying, organizing, or buying supplies for the next day or throughout the week, or I would document the programs we'd already done, or I would attend meetings like the Monarch Grant meetings where we're getting like a small garden for the Monarch Restoration Project. And then we had meetings for our natural play area, which is for children to be able to get involved, like hands-on, with building materials and natural materials away from parents, unsupervised, so they can like actually be able to be kids in nature without the risk of like, I don't know, wildlife or predators or anything like that. And then for my camp days, we would have a similar schedule. We would gather supplies for the program and set everything up, and then we would greet the children, have them sign in so we knew who was there and who we were in charge of. Then we'd probably play a game or do a craft, and then we would perform 2 programs and have lunch with the children, and then we would do our last program after lunch. And those programs were usually tree climbing, archery, or kayaking. For the outdoor adventure camp, we did some orienteering and bouldering too, but mostly it just consisted of something of those 3 options. And then we would gather the children back up at the end of the day and have their parents sign them out. And then if there was any time left, we would inventory or document or attend meetings if necessary. So my contribution to Panola Mountain State Park was basically assisting the naturalist or the managers in whatever they were doing that day. I started leading programs towards the end of my time there, but most of my, I guess, programs were we had weekly campfires at night And then we had a lot of archery classes. We had archery camp one week, but we had archery classes like every week. And then we did an outreach program at Fern Bank with our reptiles. So we had 3 snakes there and a turtle, which was really cool. And I got to see how to interact with people that knew nothing about us before, and just kind of connecting on the reptile interest. And then we did a lot of hikes. So all of our hikes are guided hikes because we're a conservation mountain, and we can't have people going up without a guide because they could ruin the ecosystem that we've been preserving. And it's actually the only Monadnock mountain that's not been quarried. So we're trying to preserve that as well. And then I became fully in charge of reporting all the programs. I was in charge of beginning the advertising process, organizing our supply closets and offices and stuff like that. And then I got the chance to create a display in our nature center right before I left. And so concepts from Warnell, I got to use orienteering in our outdoor adventure camp, which was one of the last camps that we did, which I got from field measurements. And then we had a couple of diseased trees, and I was able to spot signs of the beetle damage thanks to Forest Health. One of the trees had already been cut down, and I could see the blue stain fungus, which was cool because it's something I just learned. And then Intro to Fish and Wildlife allowed me to understand the animal behaviors and patterns, especially with working with them inside the nature center. And for Society of Natural Resources, understanding recreation conflict and how you can prevent that. And then for outdoor recreation, basic concepts, recreational preferences, and histories was another valuable skill that I was able to take away. Questions?